Hello, this is Doglman here. So, I'm back on my LP world, or this isn't my LP world. This is my creative server that I do a bunch of stuff on. But I'm gonna explain to you how this the automatic melon farm in my LP world works. It's based off of a daylight sensor. Whenever it becomes nighttime, it'll auto harvest all the melons. It's nighttime right now, but what happens is when it becomes daytime, just replicate daytime. First of all, let's start from the daytime. When it's daytime, it's like this with a signal going from the comparator that's keeping this torch turned off. That keeps these pistons turned off, and it also keeps this one on and allows this piston to be kept open. Since these pistons are down, the melons can grow. When the melons start growing, they'll appear on this row of dirt, and once it becomes nighttime, what happens then is signal disappears here. There's still the torch right here is still on though, so that the piston still stays open. Then this signal disappears, and this signal disappears. This allows this torch to turn on, which will bang, 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 turn all these pistons up. Then it will turn this torch off, which will let the water flow through. That way, the pistons are all the way up before the water flows through, so it won't kill these plants, and the water will just flow through this trench and push all the melons into this chest. Now, the tricky part is when it's up like this, and it needs to go back to daytime. If I didn't have this wire here, what would happen was, as the daylight sensor slowly came to here, I have to have this repeater here too, or else it wouldn't be, else it would go to this first and then it wouldn't go all the way through. Actually no, it would go all the way through, but it wouldn't get to this block, which it needs to. So what happens when it's going back to daytime from nighttime is that this signal, as it hits this, will close the piston before this signal comes through and retracts the pistons. That way, when this piston closes early, the water will disappear before these pistons fire down. Otherwise, if I didn't have this wire here and this repeater, if I just had a wire here that wasn't a repeater, then the signal would go through, but it wouldn't ever get struck. It would go through here before the daylight turned fast enough for this to close the piston. And if I didn't have this wire here at all, then when it came through, it would go piston down, piston, piston down, piston down, piston down, piston down, and then it would close this, which isn't good, because then all the water would just go everywhere. So that is how this automatic melon farm works. And okay, I'm back. But that's how this works, and I'll get back to our LP. Explain to you how that melon farm works, and I have it over there, and it's kind of cleaned up and covered up more with wiring. Now I'm going to explain how the wiring behind this automatic sugarcane farm will work. I'll just do it. So when this button fires, I'll just show it first. When I fire the button, it's like that. What will happen is it'll harvest this top part, and then it'll break all these bottom things, pushing all the reeds down into there. So I know that these pistons aren't very necessary. I'm just barely realizing that, but I think what we'll do with this, since the water just disappears pretty fast, it won't push all the cane down. That way we can use what's left to replant. But it kind of looks nice too to have no junk. Here's how it works. So when the button fires, push the button, activates all these wires. These wires are one block off of the pistons. The pistons one down and diagonally. That activates these pistons all the way over here. What this does here is it's a hopper clock essentially, a 2-pulse hopper clock. When this turns off briefly enough to allow this to go out and back in again. So before the button releases and this turns back on. Once the button releases, this turns back on, then it's back into this position again. It's just enough timing for this comparator to give off 2 pulses, which fires this dispenser twice. Bang. So like that. So my plan is, since this building area is going to be industrialized, I also want everything to be automatic, or to be pretty autonomous, where I can just push a button and this harvests things. And I don't want to have to manually carry things over to my storage room. So that hopper down there actually leads up right here. Yeah, right here. And what I'll do is I'll have a chest minecart go zoom, drive along behind this storage room. Here's the storage room walls, all the way over to this bottom one, which is the sugar cane, and it'll drive up a track to a hopper, which will drop it into there, and it'll just run back and forth over and over again. Or I might make it more complex. I'm not sure, actually. If I make it really complex, the simple way is just to have it running constantly back and forth. It'll just pick up like 2 or 3 items as it's running back and forth. Or I would have the minecart sit in a waiting bay back here, and when this has a certain amount of items, it'll output a signal. That signal will just fire the minecart out. Minecart will come out, stay under this till it unloads, then go over here and and then I have to set up a dropper offer thing right here. Once it does that, I have to look those up. I've done them before, but I don't remember how to do them off the spot. Once it does that, though, then it would automatically drop them off. Then it would run back and go back to its storage bay. That's probably going to be a whole lot trickier than just having it running back and forth, but it'll also be more fun and be a bigger challenge. So I think I want to do it that way, because that'll be pretty cool. This episode might actually last a couple days, because this is a lot of redstone for me to figure out. I'm not very super amazing redstone person, and I haven't really had... Oh no. 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 Stay there. Don't flow any farther. I haven't really had a chance to get super good at it, or mess around with minecarts in survival even. This is the tricky part, is building it in survival is more fun, but it's much harder too. So I think I'll do is I'm going to need a few more. I think I'm going to need a few more hoppers. I need a few more hoppers because I don't want to have to build the unloading station right behind the chest, because you might not have enough room and you can kind of see behind the chest. So I want to use these hoppers to have it flow into the chest, but do it from a farther distance away. Bang, hoppers. Let's see. This one is it. Bang, bang. But this probably will be pretty tricky. Oh, hello. Dang it. And it's nighttime. So I might have to cut for a bit. We'll see. I'm going to try and make a first attempt, and I'll see you guys in a second. Okay, I'm back, and I figured out a way to do this loading system. This is using basically using what, oh, I made it, I'll put the link to it in the video before, I in the process of making this episode, I figured out a system to do it. I explain it in a little redstone video. Basically, how it works is when there's items in this minecart, in this hopper, it summons this minecart, sends it this way, picks it up, and sends it that way, and drops it off into this chest right here. So yeah, the video in the description will show you a bit more of how that works. I tested out the sugarcane farm. The water dispenser thing does not work, so instead I'll just harvest it and then just pick up the items and drop them into there. My next goal now is to be able to get items from that chest and drop them off in there.